Have you ever felt like, I don't know, true financial freedom is this exclusive secret society and you just don't have the password? Or maybe you're working tirelessly every single day only to see your bank account completely stagnant. If that sounds like you really need to hear this. Did you know that over 80% of millionaires today are entirely self-made? Wealth isn't an accident, it's not luck, and it's rarely just inheritance anymore. It is a deliberate, highly strategic approach. Today, we're breaking down a comprehensive blueprint derived straight from our source material to completely deconstruct the rules of money you've been taught and rebuild them from the absolute ground up.
So is building wealth just this impossible puzzle? I mean, it's a question you've probably asked yourself while stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, commuting to a job that barely covers your monthly bills. You know that sinking feeling all too well, right? The frustration of being trapped in the financial rat race, running endlessly on a treadmill where the paycheck stops the absolute second you stop working. It feels like no matter how fast you run, you just can't get ahead.
Well, the reality check here is pretty stark. No, it's really not an impossible puzzle. You've simply been taught the wrong rules. The old script tells you to go to school, get a safe, secure job, save 10% of your income in a standard savings account, and basically just cross your fingers and pray it's enough for retirement. Society, our environments, traditional systems, they've been whispering this outdated script to us for decades. But this explainer is going to show you how the game is actually played by those who know how to win it today.
To kind of frame our whole journey today, let's look at this iconic quote from financial educator Robert Kiyosaki. "The rich don't work for money. They have their money work for them." That right there is the core theme we're unpacking. We're going to map out exactly how to transition from being a passive consumer of your income into an active builder of your own financial empire, step by
Section
step.
1. Break the poverty mindset. Look, before we even start talking about bank accounts or investments, we've got to confront enemy number one, poverty thinking. Our source material describes this not just as, a lack of money, but as a silent disease. Notice the relentless contrast here. Poverty thinking tells you the system is totally rigged against you. It constantly waits for permission, and it is absolutely terrified of failure. But wealth thinking, it says, I will find a way to win within any system. It takes action without waiting to be told. Most importantly, it embraces failure, not as a stop sign, but as vital feedback. You have to actively choose which of these thoughts you're going to allow to live in your head.
Which brings us to a pretty harsh truth. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you spend your time with small thinkers, well, your mind just shrinks to fit theirs. The text we're analyzing points out a really fascinating phenomenon. Why do you think lottery winners so often go broke? It's because they take a poor mindset into a rich bank account, and the mindset always wins. Usually, it looks like 5 brand new jet skis and a mega mansion they can't actually afford the taxes on. Staying the exact same person guarantees staying broke. You literally have to be willing to let go of the old version of yourself.
2. Unlearn the school system.
Since we were kids, we've been told that studying hard and getting a diploma basically guarantees success. But think about it. If that were true, why are so many highly educated people drowning in debt right now? We're sold this illusion that a diploma equals safety, but really, school just taught you to obey authority and memorize facts. I mean, you probably know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell for sure, but nobody showed you how to read a balance sheet or manage cash flow, did they? Wealth, on the other hand, requires you to negotiate, leverage debt, and create assets. The harsh reality is the school system produces obedient workers, not wealth creators.
So, self-education? It's not optional anymore. Actually, it's your only escape from that trap. The wealthy, they don't sit around waiting for someone else to teach them the ropes. They read, they study market trends, and they find mentors. What does this actually look like in practice? It means teaching yourself specific, high-value skills, things like tax strategy, real estate leveraging, or digital marketing. You have to become your own teacher in the subjects that literally dictate your financial survival and growth.
Section 3, acquire assets, not liability.
Now this is where we introduce the actual weapons for your financial liberation. Every single dollar you earn is either working for you or it's working against you. There is literally no neutral ground here. We need to clearly define the critical dividing line between financial growth and financial decay. An asset is leverage. It quietly works in the background, earning you money, kind of like a dividend stock that just pays you quarterly. A liability, though, that's a silent thief. It's a depreciating boat that costs you money in maintenance, storage, and insurance every single month without giving a single dime back.
And here is the trap, hiding in plain sight. The middle class tends to buy liabilities, shiny new cars, the latest gadgets, branded clothes, and they often falsely call them assets because they seem valuable. But these things are quietly rotting your wealth from the inside out.
The wealthy, however, buy true assets. They invest in rental properties, dividend stocks, intellectual property. They treat every single dollar as a little soldier in their army, sending them out every morning to capture more dollars and bring them home. So, the golden rule here requires some serious discipline. Let your assets buy your luxuries. The source material really hammers home how crucial it is to resist the urge to buy luxuries straight from your paycheck. If you want a luxury car, you don't buy it with your salary. No way. You delay gratification, you buy a cash-flowing asset, and you let the profits from that asset pay for the car lease. That way, your principal remains completely untouched and just keeps growing. That is the ultimate financial discipline.
Turn skills into wealth. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's great and all, but I have absolutely zero money to buy these assets. Let's just shatter that excuse right now. You do not need capital to begin. You don't need the perfect opportunity to magically show up on your doorstep. What you do have right now is the most underrated form of capital in existence: your time, your specific skills, and your sweat equity. These are just seeds waiting to be planted, and your effort is the water.
So here's the exact actionable sequence to turn those raw talents into a globally scalable machine. Step 1. Identify a problem in the market. Step 2. Package your solution. For example, if you're amazing at organizing complex spreadsheets, well, that's your raw talent. Package it into a budgeting template. Step 3. Build a personal brand around financial organization so people learn to trust you. And Step 4. Monetize and scale it online. The internet has totally demolished geographic limitations. You can reach billions of people right from your living room sofa.
Escape the rat race.
The ultimate goal here is to create an absolute safety net by doing one absolutely critical thing: detaching your income from your time. According to the data in our source material, the average millionaire relies on at least 7 sources of income. 7. They flat out refuse to stand on just one financial leg, knowing perfectly well that if that single branch snaps, the whole structure comes crashing down.
So what are these streams? Well, here are some possibilities you can start building: real estate rentals, stock dividends, digital courses, royalties from intellectual property, e-commerce, or freelance services. Now, a quick caveat. The secret isn't to just dramatically quit your job today. Actually, scratch that. The real secret is to completely reframe how you view your job. Use your current 9-to-5 as the vital funding mechanism. It's the very first stream that finances the creation of all these other independent streams.
And this brings us to a heavy, dead simple phrase: one income is too close to none. Relying on a single 9-to-5 paycheck is not safety, folks. It's just an illusion of safety. One major industry shift, a sudden company downsizing, or, an unexpected global crisis, and your livelihood vanishes overnight. Income diversification is no longer just a luxury for the ultra-rich, it is a baseline necessity for survival. Ultimately, what we're looking at is a choice between two foundational mentalities. The employee mindset works for money, seeks immediate comfort, and relies heavily on just a single income stream. But the investor mindset, that mindset ensures money works for them, constantly seeks out new opportunities, and absolutely demands diverse income. You have a fundamental responsibility to yourself and to your family to make that shift from a traditional employee to an investor in your own life. As we wrap up this blueprint, I want you to remember this: the rules of money bend for those who understand them. Did you know that the wealthy often pay lower effective tax rates than the middle class? And no, they don't do this by cheating. They do it because they deeply understand the system. They know that calculated debt can actually be a powerful lever, and they understand how to legally minimize their tax burdens simply because they took the time to study the rules. Ignorance is, without a doubt, your greatest financial liability.
The rules of money are not carved in stone. They completely shatter for those willing to challenge them. So the question you really have to answer today is this: will you keep playing with the deck stacked against you, or will you take control, educate yourself, and write your own rules? The choice is entirely yours.